Hey, what's going on, guys? And today I wanted to do a video review for the NVIDIA Shield. Now, this is actually my first time purchasing the NVIDIA Shield, and I've had this now going on probably close to about a year and a half. They made lots of updates to the software, so I'll kind of first off start talking about a little bit about the unit itself, the actual device. Then we'll actually go through and I'll walk you through some of the functionalities of what to expect with the Shield and maybe some reasons why you would buy this over some other similar types of competitors, things like a Roku or maybe an Apple TV, whatever device that you might be using for your streaming capabilities. And I'll talk about some of the reasons I decided to pick this up. So in terms of the unit itself, very small form factor. So as a comparison, we have an Xbox over here, and then we also have a PlayStation 4 over here. So it's a very small unit. It's not really going to take up a lot of space. You have on the back of the unit, you have your single HDMI port, your power, and then you also have an Ethernet port if you want to directly plug this in instead of using Wi-Fi, which is nice. And then you have your two USB ports if you wanted to add maybe like an external storage. I know in one particular scenario, let's just say I had a very large hard drive filled with like older video game emulators. I could hook up an external hard drive to this and actually run those off of the NVIDIA Shield. In terms of the actual unit itself, you get this nice green light that shows up on the top. You got the NVIDIA logo. It's got this cool design in it. And then on the base of it, it's got kind of this rubber padding and a small vent. So this isn't really going to move around too much because of the padding on the bottom. So that's kind of nice. It does come with a remote, which I'll grab here. Pretty standard remote. It's basically like this triangle style design. You get your power, you have your small wheel here, and then you've got all your play, pause, volume options, as well as a Netflix button, which is kind of nice. And pretty standard in terms of your basic remote. It works really, really well. So let's actually go through some of the settings here. I'm actually running this on a 2019 LG OLED. Pretty much, they recently, I know as of the time recording this, they recently did go through a revision of how this looks. So depending on when you decide to buy this, there could be an update for it. But I know they're constantly always updating the interface, things like that. First thing I'll mention is that you do have the ability with, the NVIDIA Shield, you have Google integrated right into it. So if you actually want to talk to it, like say, hey, play, YouTube, whatever, you have that option to talk to the unit and it will work just as good as something like a Google Home would. Going through the main menu, you have, just kind of a basic slider that goes through different things. Like this is talking about different networks that you can go watch, like currently popular movies or films on all the different major, platforms like Tubi, Prime Video, Disney, HBO Max, Peacock. Many different options here to go through. You have all your favorites, so anything that you're recently using or just wanting to favorite, you can order these. So pretty standard. It's pretty straightforward to go through this. You have a play next option, and then it basically then goes through each of the different things that you've set up. So this is basically Netflix. This is YouTube. We have some featured stuff on Google Play and more or less what you'd expect, just kind of browsing through and seeing all the different recommendations. Everything is very clear in terms of the picture, reading. I really do like the interface and haven't had any issues with it. You also have at the top, you can go through and actually set up personalized recommendations. You sign into Google and then they're basically going to give you recommendations based on what they believe you'll want to check out. You've also got the App Store, which is probably the most powerful part of the NVIDIA Shield. You have the ability to almost utilize this like you would a phone if you look at it that way. Just like you're going on the Android App Store on your phone, you have the App Store for the NVIDIA Shield, and it's utilizing Google. So you can go through here and install a wide range of different apps. And I'll talk about some of the reasons I decided to pick this up. The first being is that NVIDIA is obviously a gaming-focused company with graphic cards, GPUs, all that stuff, and they have a service called GeForce NOW. So if you own, in my case, I own a copy of Insurgency Sandstorm, and I've also got a copy of Mortal Kombat 11. If I was subscribed to GeForce NOW, I could actually play these games that I already own directly off of NVIDIA's servers using their GeForce NOW functionality. The cool thing about this is if you want, in my case, I have an Xbox One controller here with Bluetooth capability. I can actually Bluetooth connect this to my NVIDIA Shield and play games just as though it was like an actual console. So that's a really nice functionality, especially nowadays, knowing that many PC games are pretty much the same types of stuff that you're going to find on console nowadays. The other really cool thing with this is that if you are an old school gaming fan, you can get tools like Launchbox or RetroArch, which will allow you to play emulated old school video games, like retro games like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Nintendo 64. Of course, it's up to you to find those ROMs, but that's another option as well that you can set up with this. Additionally, you could use tools like the Steam Link, and if you had another computer, say in my case, I have my computer upstairs in the office, I could actually stream games off of my computer without GeForce NOW and actually play them on my NVIDIA Shield down here, which is another really awesome functionality. That was another reason I decided to get this, whereas just using something like my Xbox or PS4 doesn't really offer those capabilities. Now, another really awesome thing about this device, and one of the other reasons I got it, is if you decide to watch something, say on Netflix, that is in 1080p, the NVIDIA Shield has the option to actually upscale your content into 4K. So I'll actually go through some of the options here on the right. You get your sleep options. You can restart the unit. Here's our AI upscaling. So I can actually come in and set this for many different options. You've got AI enhanced mode, basic mode, and then you can change the detail levels from all the way from high to low. You also have GeForce NOW upscaling, and then they have a demo mode for this as well. So pretty sweet that they've included this. This is probably one of the biggest perks. We've got our network connections, device preferences, where we could set up, if we have different things like in terms of display, sound, if you want to connect like a keyboard to this, screensaver, usage, all this different, basic settings that you probably want to go through. We also have our remotes and accessories. So not only could you add a Shield-based controller, but again, you can add Bluetooth accessories. So to give some example, I have an aftermarket, this is like an aftermarket Nintendo Switch controller, but it is Bluetooth-based, so I could actually connect this to the Shield. So any controller that's Bluetooth-based probably shouldn't have too much of an issue connecting it to this, and you can actually see that it shows my previously connected Xbox controller. So pretty straightforward. I really, really like the unit. I think it's very easy to use. Another nice thing with this remote is I actually lost it during a move, and there's a Find Now functionality. So if you're like, oh, I lost the remote, you can actually go in and use like a seeking option to figure out where it is. So that's kind of nice. I haven't had any issues, just using the Wi-Fi connectivity, as opposed to like having it hardwired. And everything is very smooth on the unit, doesn't feel slow or sluggish. And having that AI upscaling is really just a nice perk that you're not otherwise going to have if you're using any of these other devices like your TV's built in or an Xbox or PS4, any of those. And then, of course, the ability to play old school games, play new stuff, stream off my computer, play games using an Xbox controller. It pretty much gives me that functionality where I can play some of those games that otherwise I probably wouldn't want to sit in like, an office chair and kind of just chill out. Whereas I could be, hanging out on my couch with my cat playing, with a controller, right? So anyway, I'm very happy with the NVIDIA Shield. If you guys decide to pick this up, I will leave a link below where you can grab this through me. You guys will pay the same, but, I will actually earn a small commission. Definitely helps me out. And I think if you guys are looking for a nice set-top box, something that can, play all your media and has some of those gaming functionalities, you definitely cannot go wrong with the NVIDIA Shield. Thanks for watching the review. Hope you found it helpful, and I'll talk to you later.